Welcome to another episode of Alpha Intuition Podcast. We're going to help you guys crack that crazy girl code. I am your host, Keisha L. Blair, and joining me today is my co-host, Jerry Yarbrough. And we, once again, do not have our Mind Wellness Coach, Essence Yarbrough, with us, but hopefully she'll be joining us again next week. But what's up, Jerry? How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. Had a phenomenal week, man. Just looking at this next topic that we got, ready to go ahead and get it started. You ready?
I'm ready to rock. Let's do it.
All right, so this week we're going to be talking about love versus trust. All right, so just to get this started, I just want to ask you, how do you define love and how do you define trust? We're going to wait. Before I set the tone, we're going to just start with the basics. So let's just go on and start with the basics.
Okay. Well, honestly, the best basics is that I felt really resonated with me was the biblical version of the biblical definition of love. So it's like love is patient, love is kind, love never hurts. I can't remember the exact.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact, but in all honesty,
See, that's why we need Essence here, because she would have known in front, forward, and
would
back.
know it off top. She would know it off top. So, but that definition, and I, read the Bible, front to back a couple times, and for whatever reason, that escaped me. I never even caught it, really soaked it up, But truly, that's the best description that I could give of love. We get resentful, we do things, and you feel so righteous in your resentment that you don't realize you're actually not loving that person. So resentment is a huge killer of relationships, and it starts as a pea and it turns into, a boulder later in life, later in your relationship. So for me, that's a huge thing to really understand. So again, First Corinthians, I don't remember verse and all that.
Wrong. I think it's 13.
Okay, yeah, 8 through 13 or something like that. But that's
through 1 through something. But we won't. I can go fact check it, but that's gonna take too long. But yes, in Corinthians.
And I'm not the Bible thumper at all whatsoever. So, but I can tell you, that hit me. And honestly, just to kind of take it to a level deeper, when I read that again, I aimed it at myself to determine do I love myself. And that made me really go deep within myself. And I realized that I didn't. And we just talking like, I don't know, 6 years ago, something like that, to realize all these years that I never truly loved because I did resent myself for things I did. So this is about relationships. I don't want to get into the cycle.
No, you're good.
But that's a huge factor. If you look at that, people will say, well, put your partner's name. Do I love so-and-so that, and do I love so-and-so? Do I show patience to so-and-so? Do I hold any resentment towards so-and-so? Now put your name in there. Talk to yourself that way. And if you do, and I didn't, nobody told me to do that. I just was like, damn, I don't even feel this way about myself. Like, how can I truly love someone if I can't even get this through for myself? I hope that makes a lot of sense for a lot of people.
So while you was talking, I just had to fact check it. So it is Corinthians 13, 4-7, and it says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, nor rejoice with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves.
So as we see,
to the Church of the Corn.
So as we see, trust is wrapped into that definition of love.
Correct.
So to me, it's never a versus. Maybe in the way you're wanting to put the question apart or put the question out there, you mean it slightly differently than that. But to me, they're intertwined.
Correct, and I totally agree with that. So as your definition of love, as we think about Corinthians 13:4-7, it talks about all the things that love should be. A lot of people don't even consider that or think about that when they say, "Oh, I love you," but do you actually think about whether or not you're honoring that person, or whether you're doing something that is in that person's interest, to where you're not easily angered? Like, all of these things should come into play, and how does trust factor into that when you think about it? So I totally agree with you that when you think about love, I mean, how can you love someone without trusting them? And in relationships, there's always that element to where, yeah, we love somebody, but we don't trust them. So what's keeping you there, right? Is it really love, or is it just lust? Because
Hmm.
lust is kind of where it starts. That's with the initial attraction. You don't meet somebody and you immediately love them. You just
Or
love them.
or is it the comfort they provide that you love? There's that too.
That could be on the tail end, but on the initial attraction, when you meet someone, that's all
Hmm.
about that lust factor. And then eventually, if you continue to be with that person, like, you have to decide which comes first. Is it the trust, or is it the love? Do you build trust from the love that you have for them, or do you build love because you trust this person?
I believe, I think anyway, at this point in my life, the trust, the trust would come first and the
Mm.
love comes after. That's how I see it.
And
If I go ahead.
I was gonna say, for men, maybe men may feel like, yeah, they have to trust someone and then they love them. For women, I think ours is just that, like I mentioned before, it may be that, we trust this person right off the bat, which causes us to actually love them. And then, even if that trust is diminished, it doesn't mean we're gonna lose that love for them.
Okay.
You say okay, like you wanted me to say something else.
No, no, I just all I can say is okay. I think as men, um, it's you, you have to trust your woman because you're opening yourself up. If you're truly this protector, this provider is opening himself up in a way that he's going to open himself up to no one else, to no one else. Um,
Yeah.
so I have to trust you. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love for everybody to understand that every time you get into a relationship, you're gambling no matter what. You don't know how it's going to turn out. You hope it's going to turn out a certain way. However, that's just hope. And honestly, I don't even believe in that word. It's really just, what do you desire it to become? And if you desire it to become, a life partner, a lifelong relationship, obviously trust is going to be a huge factor in that. And I'll say, in my previous marriage, that I broke that trust early on in the relationship. I lied about something that to me was flippant. It was whatever. It was no big deal. Whatever, whatever, whatever. Well, 13 years later, like, well, what happened there? What was that really? She'd asked me a few times in between. Let her tell it. She probably say, I asked you a zillion times, whatever. But to me, a few times she asked me in between. I was like, nah, man, stop tripping, stop tripping. Like, nah, nah, nah. But eventually, I just said, you know what? This is either going to make the relationship or break the relationship, because I'm tired of being hit up about it. It means nothing. So look, and I said that out loud. This is either going to make this marriage, or it's going to break this marriage. We'll be stronger than we ever were, or we will be, it'll be demolished. And it was demolished. And the thing is that it was so. Oh my God, man! But when trust is broken, my point is, I broke her trust.
Mm.
No cheating, no nothing like that, no abuse, no. But I broke her trust. And some people can't recover from that.
Yeah.
You really have to understand that. Some people can. Some people can look in the mirror and go, shit, I mean, I lied about this, that, and the third when I was in this other relationship. So I can see why, you would lie about that, even try to hold on to it because it ain't really that big of a deal in the end. And they can move forward. But some people can't. I'm gonna
Hmm.
stop. Go ahead.
No, that's real good. Um, to where
That's facts. I didn't live
so
that. I didn't live that. That's
look, I'm
fact.
sitting here thinking about just like we mentioned before, right? How women, it's like we give that trust off the bat, whereas men, you have to build that trust up with them. So either way, once you have a person's trust, whether it's from the beginning or whether it's built up over time, once it's broken, it's hard to rebuild it. You
For
know,
sure.
so which
For
brings us
sure.
to our next one here: building trust and rebuilding trust. So, um, let me ask you a question. So, what do you think are some ways that some things that people can do in a relationship just to build the trust from the beginning?
Excuse me. Excuse me. What do I think are some ways people could build trust from the beginning? Be
Correct.
yourself.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
yourself. Like when we meet each other in the beginning, we're meeting the other person's representative.
Hmm.
We're never meeting that wholehearted person. I won't say never. Um, your initial introduction is a representative, They don't know what you're like when you're so drunk you can barely walk. They don't know what you're like when you're dealing with your family or your friends. These are all different aspects of you, and they come out over time. And even though women may say, like you said, no, we trust off top, I think after feeling some pain, y'all might realize, no, I need to see how he act with his mama. I need
Yeah.
to see how he is with, but those steps are either adding to or subtracting from trust, in my opinion.
Wow. I agree with that. You said adding to or subtracting from trust. So, so let's just say, like, so you said mentioned in the beginning, like when people meet someone, the best thing they can do is just be authentic. But does it mean that you lay all your cards on the table and show them like even your bad stuff, or you just wait and kind of hold that back? Because of course, when your representative is out there, you're trying to attract this person. So you don't want to show them, like, let's just say for like women, I mean, you don't want to show them that you may get flustered or upset. I'm just going to throw something out there. When you go to a fast food restaurant and your order don't come out right, or like, it may be certain things that you may not want that person to know right off the top, that eventually you don't even realize you do it and eventually it comes out. So like, is it that you're being dishonest when you don't lay those cards on the table? Or,
I kind
or deceptive, not really dishonest, but more deceptive.
I kind of take a different perspective on that. And the perspective that I'm taking is, do you want to improve who you are, man or woman? If you want to improve who you are, take this opportunity with this new person to be that better person. Don't
Correct.
get don't get upset about the French fries being burnt.
Thank
You
you.
know.
That's your representative, though, right? So it's like you put your but you have to remember that you got to stay in character when you're around this person.
Well, I don't. But again, regardless of that person or not being in the picture, the goal is to be a better human, and it's not healthy to be ready to snatch somebody through a drive-through window because they didn't put no salt on your French fries. You know what I'm saying? It's unhealthy to get into almost fist fights at Walmart.
Stuff be going down in Walmart now.
A lot of people relate to it. If you haven't been through it, you've seen it, even if
Yeah,
you just saw it online. I mean, so it's controlling oneself in a lot of different ways, in my opinion. That's how I feel about it.
I agree. I agree 100%. Yeah. So, all right. So let's talk about when the trust is broken. Do you feel as though what steps should the person take to try to rebuild the trust? Because this is like I've had somebody break my trust, and even and so I'm just say from a woman's perspective, we forgive, but we don't forget. We ain't gonna forget. And like you said, like you mentioned, 13 years later, that shit gonna come back on you. I'm sorry. We gonna bring it back up. Because we ain't forgot. We might forgive you. You might think everything is cool, but let something slightly happen close to it. Oh, it's coming back up.
Yeah, and it's the same with men too. It's not just y'all. It's the same. Well, Uh, it's the same for us, but you might not hear about it. You
Who's
might
gonna
not
hear
hear
about
about
it?
it. We
The
keep it
boys?
inside. No, we keep nope, nope. We'll hold it inside and deal with it inside. Like, damn, this looks a lot like whoop de whoop.
That's collecting that information. See?
But yeah, I'm collecting information. So, one time is an anomaly, two times is a coincidence, three times is a pattern. I've
Mm.
learned that to be true in my life. So I rock with that pretty much in every aspect of my life. So yeah, for me, as men, we may see that behavior, whatever it is. You've apologized for it. Hey, no, not happening again. And you've corrected it for a long period of time or however, whatever period of time. But then we see it pop up again. I'm not just talking about adultery.
That was my question. I was gonna ask them, how many passes do you give
Yeah,
on
I don't.
something that? Yeah, how
Now,
many passes do you give?
when it comes to adultery, I mean, ain't no passes given. Like
For
that's.
real? But y'all cheat. How, wait. Now this now look, I know brothers
I'm
that
not
cheat.
y'all. I'm not y'all. I'm Jerry, and
So,
not.
but men cheat, right? Yeah, you didn't cheated before. So it's like, but then if that same one you cheated on were to cheat on you, you wouldn't give a pass? I didn't
Um,
hear men say
if
no, so
I
I'm just asking, just to see. I'm
no,
trying to
if
get
I
consistency here.
if honest, even going back into my younger years, yeah, I did. Um, and I believe she did too. As get back. You know what I'm saying? Um, so
But did
yeah,
you know
I
for
tried
sure
that.
though?
Hmm?
Did you know for sure, or you just think she did?
Yeah, just like y'all know, we
No,
know.
no, I'm just saying. But was it just speculating, or was you like you was just thinking she did? You almost
You,
certain she did.
nah, you could say it's speculation, but I felt it. So it
Okay.
don't matter what you say. So no matter what though, it puts a shift into the relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're young. I mean, I was like early 20s or something, like, yeah, you
You
ain't
don't
even got,
remember that far back. I feel you. I be having that.
yeah, I don't even know the details no more. So,
Like you remember it the way that you thought about it the last time you thought about it.
yeah.
Hey, you mean it? That's what really happened.
So on the real though, like, I just, yeah, but I've broken trust before. I've had my trust broken before. But when it happened to me, I was like, oh, okay, I see that. I see that. Like, I didn't bug out. I did get cheated on once, and it came out. As far as I know, for sure, I've only been cheated on once. Women will laugh when I say that, probably.
Well, no, because I mean it's not possible. I mean,
So,
it
as
just
far
happened.
as I know, for sure, the
I've
other
only
one
cheated
is,
once in my life, and it was because I knew that somebody had cheated on me. But
yeah,
anytime after that, because it wasn't a good feeling for me, I just left anytime somebody cheated on me after that. It wasn't like I tried to do the retaliation thing, but I was
yeah,
married at the time, so it was a little different.
gotcha. So for me, it's that one time, and I was like, huh. But the whole relationship was built out of lust. So what do you think is gonna pop off? There's not
But
true love.
okay, wait. So you mean what you say is built off of lust, but that's where it started. Because if you didn't have a desire to be with somebody
That's
looking at you in a lustful way, it would never even started.
but that's my point, is that it was just lust and it felt good. The picture looked good. The future looked good. It just looked good.
It never evolved past
I was
that.
almost 30. I'm with a beautiful woman. I'm like, yo, you know, she's like, I want to get married. I'm like, yeah, I might as well. I mean, we'll make some pretty ass kids and, on with life,
And you
right?
still ain't got
So,
no damn kids.
so again, my point, and still ain't got no damn kids. You're right. You're right. Working on it though, working on it. So, but the main thing, like I'm saying, is the fact of that the relationship itself was a lustful relationship, and then
Sounds
so yeah, so when it happened, don't get me wrong, I was livid to say the least. It threw off the trajectory of my life at that time. But in the end, and I had a cousin that was trying to walk me through that, trying to, Jerry, look, woo, 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 woo. Yeah, I'm another strong man, right? I had never been through that before. So I had this other strong man, even if he didn't know what to say, he just let me vent. So I'm kind of getting off topic a little bit.
Ain't no topic. We good. We just chopping it up.
Yeah, facts. So I think that's a that so could I come back from that? Truly?
So
Nah.
let me ask you a question though, because
She
I
tried
know
to
from
keep
a female
hold on,
perspective.
because I think it's important to finish this. She tried to bring it back together. And when she tried to bring it back together, I had moved out and she came to where I was. The funny thing, I never had this happen to me before. But when you really X someone out, like you extract them from you, she walked up on me and I didn't even recognize her. She looked the same, but I thought she was looking for someone else the way she was talking to me. And I was like, what do you? And she was like, it's me. It's me. It's so and so. And I was like, oh, snaps. And then it was like a
Your ass
veil.
is old.
No, I was young. I was young at the time. This is like 31.
Wow.
So my point is just, excuse me. So my point is just, so we split. I got my own spot. She tried to. She eventually came back. Was like, please come home, please. Da, 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 da. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I go, well, I made a commitment. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Went home. Probably 2 weeks later, she was supposed to be somewhere. Wasn't there. I placed a phone call. She don't answer. Place another phone call. No answer. I send a text. Yo, what's happening? Where are you? Boom, boom. She don't respond. On my head, she's doing what she did. Period. You can't tell me that that's not the case. I come home angrily, and she was sitting in the den in the office on the computer. I come in looking at every car on the block as I'm pulling up, walking the house, smelling like anything different, what feels different. Nothing did. And I went into the office and she was in there. And I was like, how come you not answering the phone? I never did this, and I'm ashamed to even say this, but it is what it is. I'm human. And so I was like, why are you not answering the phone? What? And she was like, I knew you was gonna be tripping. I knew it. I knew it. Damn. And she let out this frustration. And I was like, how are you trying to get frustrated and tripping on me? Now looking back, I can see it was frustration in herself. But I
Mm.
took it, I took it against me. And she was like, I left my phone in the bag in the trunk when I left the gym. I forgot to get it out. And I knew that if he was calling, it was gonna be like this. So I say all
That was
that.
bullshit.
I'm sorry.
That was bullshit. But anyway, go ahead.
No, no, no. I had the car. The phone was in the bag in the trunk. It was true.
Mm.
So, um, yeah. So I had to. I didn't have to. I sat back and I was like, and I pondered on where I went. I had never been there before. I had never been there before. So I had to really try to dig deep, but I couldn't pull myself. I couldn't I couldn't put that trust back.
Mm.
And she couldn't deal with not being trusted, even though you did something that took my trust away, right? So with my ex-wife that I was with for a very long time, there's a portion of me that understands that I took her trust away. I understand that. And yeah, I mean, I'm human as well, so we all make mistakes. It's about how do you pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and march through life forward, growing to become better.
Hmm.
That's how I really see it. So go ahead. I just
Yeah.
gave some real personal shit, man. Like
No, no, that's cool.
personal.
Um, so, but you mentioned something a second ago, and that's what the question I was going to ask you was
Mm-hmm.
that, men, how you say that basically when someone cheats on you, it's hard for you to recover from that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the best recourse is just to leave the relationship. So I guess my question is, why is it that men expect women to take them back after they cheat? But yet, if a woman were to cheat, then it's no holds barred and they're ready to just give up.
I think that that's a double standard made popular by music, movies, somewhat based in fact, perhaps.
Mm,
But I truly think it depends on what type of man you're dealing with. So if I mean, I tried it, and nah, I
try what?
didn't.
What, trying to be with somebody after they cheated on you?
Yeah, I
Well, how,
tried
I
it.
mean, so what feeling did it make you have that made you feel like you didn't want to continue on with that person?
I think what made it more difficult to try to conquer was her lack of ability to really take responsibility.
Hmm.
So that when I believe in, how's it called, the 4 R's or something like that, when someone does an offense, they promise not to repeat. They promise to this. I can't remember what the 4 R's are, but people can look it up if they're interested.
Yeah, so we need Essence. She probably know 'em off the top of her head.
Perhaps. Those 4 R's represent someone that is committed to not offending you again, and it's basically the 4 R's of forgiveness. But what I say is, if they do all that, I still have to determine, do I want to deal with you again? Now that's friend, family, girlfriend, wife, don't matter. It's a I can forgive you and just leave you out of my life. And sometimes that may be what needs to be done.
Okay, so I'm gonna look them up. It says the 4 R's for forgiveness are responsibility,
Yeah.
accept what happened and show yourself
Remorse.
compassion, remorse, use guilt and remorse to change your behavior in a positive way, restoration, make amends with the person you're forgiving, even if it's yourself, and renewal. Learn from the experience and grow as a person. So responsibility, remorse, restoration, and renewal.
That person that offended you is trying to show you those things.
Mm,
I'm so sorry.
you
If
good?
they do show those things, you and you're aware of these 4 R's, and you can tell that they're genuine, because we know if they're genuine or not. But if
Correct.
they are genuine, you have a decision to make to say, okay, I accept this and I accept you, and I'm going to do my best to move forward with you. And this, again, this is family, friends, not just your mate. So I think that I kind of lost my thought. 4 R's. Oh, that it's you. Now, once you make the commitment to deal with them again, hey, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna do this with you. You got to understand that you can't be throwing what they did in their face,
Correct.
right? You can't do that. You got to reach an even higher bar within yourself that I did not reach with my first, right? With my the one chick that cheated on me. Um, so you have to own something even higher, in my opinion, than the person that did the offense. Because to not throw it in their face when you are more than justified to throw it in their face feels good, sounds good when you're spitting it at them. You
Mm,
get a little bit of feel good out of it, but the other person sitting back going, damn, but I thought you forgave me. Okay, so I see you did it.
correct. So you saying it, but you didn't really mean it. You
Maybe
just
you did meet it in the moment, but maybe you did meet it in the moment, but you are not in control of your emotions. So you accepted it, you heard the 4 R's, you believed their remorse and will not repeat, and you believed them, you felt their intent that they do not want to go down that path again, and you said, okay, but you didn't know the second part of what I'm saying, which is that if something resembles the same offense, you cannot turn around and throw it in their face. If they did something stupid in the kitchen, broke a dish, you can't let that emotional moment, because you're mad because it was your favorite plate, turn around and turn into an argument about what they did that offended you. You cannot pull that stuff up. And it takes a certain type of person. I was not that person at the time, to not regurgitate that frustration, anger, pain at the offender. I pray that makes sense to everybody.
No, it does. Yeah, I feel you on that. Man, nah, 100%. So,
What up, though?
what do you feel is the difference between love and trust? Because you have so many people that will say, "Oh, I trust this person. Oh, I love them," and it's like, just because, like we mentioned, just because you love somebody doesn't mean they're worthy of your trust, and just because you trust someone doesn't mean that you love them. So,
I,
from your perspective in relationships, like, what do you think the key differences are between love and trust in a relationship?
the key differences between love and trust in a relationship. I'm literally drawing a blank. What I can say about the word trust, uh, you know, I trust when I receive a check, it's going to be cashable. I trust I put gas in my car, it's going to run. So, words again are important. I cannot, in the way we're defining, or in the scenario we're using this word, I cannot separate it from love.
Well, let me tell you this, where I feel like what you just said, that just talks about reliability and dependability, right? So those things are reliable. You can rely on putting gas in your car,
Mhm,
knowing that your car is going to start once you put that gas in. That's being reliable. That doesn't
mhm.
mean you love your car any more or less, depending on which gas station you go to. So,
Facts.
but the fact is, it's like whether you put gas in your car or not, it could be your favorite car. You're like, man, I love my car. It's the best car I ever had. It has nothing to do with the reliability or the dependability of that car. You're gonna love
Mhm,
it regardless, even when it breaks down, even when it doesn't perform like it's supposed to. When you got to take it to the shop, spend thousands of dollars on it. That's your first car. This car you love. I'm rocking with my car. That
mhm.
doesn't mean it has to be reliable or dependable at all. So to me, what I would say is that love is basically just that connection, that emotional connection that you have with someone. That doesn't really necessarily mean that you trust that person. They may not be dependable or reliable at all, but because of the emotional connection that you have with them, you can still have love for somebody that you don't trust.
I think I, I would say it this way. You can have love and trust, lose trust, still love in pain. Hope, again, I don't like that word. You can desire to scratch and claw your way back to where you were, but it takes a special type of two people to pull that off. It takes the offender being, I'm probably going too deep with it. Go
No,
ahead.
it ain't no too deep, because I mean what you're saying is basically, it's like love. Basically, love can be like kind of like the cohesiveness that holds people together, but trust is the foundation that's going to support it and make it last forever. Because
Trust is
yeah.
trust is the boundary. It's like what I said about the ego, right? The ego and um defends the boundaries,
Mm.
And if your ego is out of control, then your boundaries can be way too tight, You're too rigid. Um, but it's kind of a different topic. Probably
Well, yeah,
shouldn't.
but it's like, you can still, you can love someone, and like I said, you cannot trust them, right? Because love is what's going to keep you there, but that doesn't mean you're not going to have those insecurities and not going to have that jealousy. Love, the
Yeah.
trust portion of it is what's going to make you content and happy in the relationship. Love won't always make you happy, but that trust will.
Yeah. Yeah. The to me, the two must coincide.
Correct. Because that's
Anybody that I,
what keep you
yeah,
there. Yeah.
anybody that I trust, I love. Like
But
I
not
can't,
everybody you love, you trust.
well, you know, if
Trust
you
me, I
go,
got people I love, but I wouldn't trust their ass at all. Nah, I'm good. Can I stay at your house? Hell
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah,
can I drive your car? Absolutely not. But I love you.
absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
nah,
I love you, but I
I
love you.
ain't got
Yeah,
you like that. Now, somebody you trust, I
that's
mean,
facts, Keisha.
you ain't
That's
necessarily
facts.
got to really love them, but you trust them to a point to where you know they're going to take care of your stuff like you take care of it. And you know
Yeah,
that you trust them to it because they're dependable, they're reliable. You trust the people, and ultimately you have a certain type of love and a connection with them because you trust them. But
hmm,
everybody you love, nah, I don't trust everybody I love. I ain't gonna be.
that's yeah. I
But
had some faces pop up in my
I
face in my
say
head.
exactly like,
I
nah,
was like,
like
yeah,
Jerry, let
I
me
love them, but I wouldn't trust them with this
let me borrow
task,
your
or,
VCR.
I wouldn't trust them with that task. So yeah, 100. You're right.
Like, can I get them keys in your car? You were like, what? Absolutely not. Yeah, you ain't got no driver's license. You crazy?
Keys to
I
my
love you
roller
though.
skates. Give the
I give you
keys
a
to my roller
ride.
skates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Say keys to
All
roller
right.
skates. but nah. So that's just when you think about love and trust. Because I know as women, we can 100% love somebody that we don't trust. We want that trust to be in there, but that person has broken it. So it's like it's up to them. But there is a difference between love and trust. And depending on how you use those both, the ideal relationship, you definitely want to have both in that relationship because when
I,
one is missing, it's going to be a problem.
I think I want to drill down on something though. You just said it. I think depending on the offense, right? We're jumping to the extreme of cheating, but it could be something else. It could be like you said, there's certain situations you don't trust your mate in, right?
Or
Certain situations, such as he never gets the mail, he never, you know, he always misses the trash truck. I'll just do it myself, right? So
that's true.
now you take the trash out and you become resentful of the fact that you're the one getting up at 6:15 when you didn't have to, gathering the trash, running outside instead of waking him up to do it because he didn't get up to do it. You didn't wake him up. You waited to see if he would, and he didn't. So he broke your trust, or did he break your expectation?
Yeah, that's the expectation. And then why would
You're
you expect somebody? My question is, why would you expect somebody to do something and when they ain't done it consistently in the past? You setting yourself up for failure.
true, true. But I
I
think
feel
the
you
point
though. It happens.
I think the point I'm trying to make is we will take something small, like he doesn't consistently take the trash out, depending on the state of the person making the judgment, can then correlate that, or not correlate, but they can cascade that across other situations. Now, it may seem small, yeah. It may seem like maybe I'm taking a very, very, very trivial situation and cascading it into others. And so I'm just asking that people try to wrap their head around that. Put your own, you know, examples for that. Trust is important. Expectations are dangerous. They're dangerous, and breaks of expectations in an unhealthy person, I think, can make them believe that they can't trust you.
Well, I always
That's
say
kind
that
of
no expectation, no disappointment. So, I mean, you shouldn't expect anything of anyone than what they show you. Because if you expect something of someone, more than likely you setting yourself up for failure and you could potentially be disappointed. So, if you don't like to be disappointed, don't set expectations on someone else. Set them
true.
on yourself.
True. I think is we have to be careful though of saying, I don't put any expectation on anyone. I'll just do it myself. And that becomes a whole nother problem. That's
Mm,
dangerous. So it's kind of like when I taught my younger siblings, spent time with them driving and so forth when they were young, starting to drive. I'd say, you see these lines on the road? And they go, yeah. I was like, those are the rules of the road, right? And they go, yeah, those are the rules. And I go, okay. I was like, but what stops that car from the opposite direction coming in here and hitting us head on? And they go, nothing. And I say, exactly. These lines, these lights, these stop signs, they're all just suggestions. People don't have to follow them. And when you are expecting that those other people are going to follow those rules, and you follow the rules, but chaos happens when people don't. So expectations are dangerous. You have to be aware is the whole point of the driving situation. It's just an expectation. It may not be followed through by everybody. There's enough accidents in America and all over the world every day to prove to us that that is the case. So, and in your own personal life, be aware of what are expectations and what can you nullify yourself with a joyous spirit. And I think that that's important. I think I got all that out right.
no, it's all good. Yeah.
It's important. It's important. I feel like I'm talking to my family right now.
They'll be all right. I'm sure some family out there listening. Um,
Yeah.
but no, it's
Yeah.
like for real. It's like, love and trust are both key components in any relationship. There are a lot of relationships that out there where one is definitely missing, and that relationship has it's at a deficit because one of those things is missing.
Facts.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So ultimately, it's like when you love someone, you should have enough respect for that person to tell them where that deficit is, so that if there's a sense of trust that's lacking, you should be able to tell them what needs to be done so that they can show up for you or so that you can show up for them. If you don't trust someone 100%, you should be able to go and tell them why you don't trust them and have an open and honest conversation. Of course, a lot of relationships don't communicate that way. It's like, and then you have some people who actually enjoy that toxic portion of the relationship, right? To where they
Mhm.
thrive on that. I'm not one of those people. Like I said, I like to lay everything down on the table and say, okay, this is who I am. I'm not gonna play the cat and mouse game. They ain't got time for that shit. I got a life that's full of a whole bunch of other things. Of course, I want companionship to be a part of my life. So therefore, that's why I try to give what I want to receive. I try to be a loving person because I want to be loved. I try to be a trusting person because I want to be trusted. But
Mhm.
unfortunately, not everybody thinks that way.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I agree. Stuff be stuff
Well,
be getting kind of crazy sometimes.
but ultimately, if people focus on both, when you have a relationship, you focus on not how that person can love you, but if both people focus on how they can show up for the other person, then you'll have a loving, lasting relationship because both people will be focused on the other person. They won't be focused on themselves. And you'll
Mhm.
be able to give that person what they want, and they'll give you what you want. And ultimately, you'll have a fulfilling partnership.
I think so. I think both people gotta understand that there will be times in life through the course of your time together that the other person may not be able to give you that, and you
Correct.
gotta be understanding of that. If you say you love them, if you're using them, and it'll just fall apart. But if you truly love each other, then those things, that understanding, in my opinion, has to be there.
Well, that also comes with being upfront and honest and in the beginning about what you expect from that person because you can't sit there and be deceptive on the front end and then expect to have love and trust on the back end. It's not going to work that way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what got me shot out the water, right? you know, and the thing is it was so, but you again, not, and people, I really want people to understand, not everybody is in a place while they are with you that they can forgive you, and I'll say F with you, because not everybody can. Not everybody can, man. They can't look at you every day and be, I lived through this from both perspectives. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
As far as one time cheating, the other time I lied about something. So that lie, though, but I felt it. You know what I mean? As if I was doing all that. But I'll just say that feeling, being in both of those situations, has helped me to understand moving forward in my life. I could damn sure say that. I kind of had a separate point, but I kind of lost it.
So basically, you know exactly what you did to mess things up, right?
Say again?
You know exactly what you did to mess things up.
Oh yeah, and would not do it again. I'm
But
all cards on the table as well. Like
but did you
100.
admit to it once you knew where you screwed up?
No, honestly,
Was
I
that
lied
easy?
about it. You gotta. So uh, I was a different person when I lied about. When I lied about it, it was like, man, this ain't got nothing to do with you. Like I ain't even trying to go there. It is unimportant. It ain't even. Ooh, 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 ooh. But it, me later in life, I understood it. I got it. And when she asked me, I lied about it again after I had the understanding. See, I should have manned up and said it at that point. You know what? The first time she asked me and I had the understanding of what I'm really doing in this relationship, I should have owned it at that point in time. But I didn't. I just stayed with the it's easier. Sorry. One of the biggest fallacies of life. When you lie, you you only postpone pain.
Exactly. That's
That's
it.
all you do. If you own the truth, say it as best you can, as understanding as you can, you're gonna feel pain, but at least the pain will be right now. And you can move
Correct.
on. You can move on further on in your life and maybe y'all work it out, maybe you don't, depending on the offense. Um,
Yeah.
however, when you lie, you just shooting your own self in the fit. And I was gonna say in the foot, but I mean the face. You know, I took one to the head, you know, changed my life. I'm a better man, but it changed my life in a major way.
Yeah.
So uh we just have to own it, man. Own it. Yeah, yeah, it sucks. It sucks to tell your parents, yeah, I did, yeah, I did do it. You're gonna get that ass whooping, or you're gonna get punishment, or you're not gonna get McDonald's, whatever the punishment of your parents is. Yeah, you're gonna get it. But they have you have achieved a new level of respect, love, and trust within your parents because they know that you won't lie to them.
Mm.
Right? It's the same with your mate. It's the same with your friends. I had I don't want to go into that. Nah, that's too long of a story. It's all good.
I was gonna
But
say I try to make anybody that I'm with feel comfortable about being honest with me, meaning that you don't give them that toxic response back or that that response that maybe makes them think about a traumatic experience when they were young. So it's like I try to just listen, and
mhm,
even though it may not be what I want to hear, I still
mhm,
receive it because you're being honest with me, and I want you to continue to be honest. If I'm going to blow up and get upset and get mad, all that's going to do is make you revert back to your boyish ways and think about, man, when I was, subconsciously you're thinking about if I'd have just told a lie and got away with it, everything would have been okay, and you
mm,
wouldn't have had that backlash. So therefore, I try to not do that in relationships, and whether it's in my favor or not, I always tell guys I want to hear the truth. And I don't blow up behind it. It may not be what I want to hear, it may not be favorable with me, but I try to handle it and deal with it accordingly to where I don't blow up and we just discuss it beyond that point.
mm. Yeah, honesty is the best policy. That is a statement for a reason throughout God knows how many eons of man, right? Patience is a virtue for a reason. That is one of the big statements all throughout history. These are very real things. And sometimes we got to take them lumps. I took mine, you took yours. You got
Yeah.
to take them lumps before you wake up. So there it is.
Yeah. All right. So what is, and it's been like a tremendous conversation. I have to say we've explored a lot of stuff. I'm talking about dancing between just that intricate dance between love and relationships, or love and trust in relationships. So
Mhm.
um what's something that 60 seconds you want to tell our viewers about how they should move forward in relationships when it comes to love and trust?
Do the hard thing. Like, tell the truth. It ain't easy. You got to know your mate. I would say tell the truth or don't say nothing. Do
Mm,
not lie. Do not lie. And the reason why I say don't say nothing, I say that because more than likely you know your mate ain't cut like that. You
mm.
already know it's gonna be a DV. It's gonna be a domestic violence. You already know
Definitely don't want that.
5-0 rolling up at your door, or one time, whatever. It's gonna be a problem. You know, so you need to be a judge. You need to be a judge. I don't want to say judge. I know you said 60 seconds, and I'm trying.
Oh, you're good. Go ahead and take your time. I was just trying to give you a
Yeah.
time frame to pinpoint.
Tell the truth. You know what? That's it. Just tell the truth because it hurts less later. And that's 100. Everything done in the dark will come to the light. I don't care
Mm,
who or how
definitely.
slick you think you are. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much influence you have from your hood to the White House. Eventually, it all comes to light. And you might think, well, I could be dead and gone when it comes to light. That's true, but your legacy is left with your
Right.
family,
Absolutely.
and your kids, grandkids are carrying that. Whatever it was you did, they got to deal with it. Now they got to hear it. So move properly as best you can, as best you know how. Apply that definition of love, the biblical definition of love, to yourself. Look in the mirror, say it out loud, put your name in there, or put I in there. Um, and just understand, if you look at any parts of that and you can't wholeheartedly say, wow, I love myself, I can say these things about myself, you can't fully love somebody else, because pain will come your way and you got to be ready to deal with it. You got to be able to do the hard things when it comes to other people. And it ain't easy. It ain't easy. And don't be scared to walk away.
Mm.
Don't be scared to walk away. Don't be so reliant on things, money. Life got a whole beautiful road ahead of you if you would just give yourself the opportunity to go experience it.
Wow. That's
I'll leave
deep.
it there.
Like you
Thank
said,
you.
that means walking away, which a lot of people don't want to do when they got love that's involved in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Love, but is it love? That's another thing. You better be able to determine, is it love or is it dependence or codependence?
Mm. We're gonna have to explore that on the next episode. I like that one. Wow,
Mm.
interesting. Well, all right, y'all. Man, this has been a lot for our episode today. We touched on some good topics, man. So I
Made
want
some good
to. That's right.
research.
I want to thank you guys for tuning in today, and we really hope you guys found today's discussion to be enlightening, and we hope you enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and also please leave us a comment and a review. All right. And you can connect with us on social media. You see my Instagram page down below, Keisha _the electrician. So please make sure that you follow me. And also on YouTube, I believe it's Keisha L. Blair. And you can also follow the show on Alpha Intuition on YouTube. But just make sure that you remember that love and trust go hand in hand. You have to cultivate both for a stronger relationship. So
Facts.
until next time, we just need you guys to make sure that you keep striving for excellence, and just make sure that you enjoy the journey and make sure that you trust each other in the process. All right. Until next time, y'all. Peace.
100.